Hello, everybody. This is Josh, and today we continue the city of Little York. This is a city that I started for YouTube, and that we are gonna continue here. This is episode 8. If you want, you can go to youtube.com/joshxplay, and you can look at the other episodes available already. So let's get started. The last time that we were working on this city, we have reached a new level for the forestry area. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. So I think the last thing that we were working on was on this area right here. We created a tourist area with a nightlife area, as well as this little I'm gonna call it medium density residential area that I think it works really well. And like I mentioned, one of the reasons that I like to do this type of thing is because the game does not have any medium density buildings or zones. So I think that both by restricting the height, the high-rise band, and also by giving it a small area to grow on, in this case is 2 squares from the road. And so this is the best way that I can create medium density zones, apartment buildings, basically apartment complexes in a way, if you want to call it that. And I think it looks good. I do think they look a little bit better when it's on the other themes, on the template and tropical themes. But I think it looks well. I think it gives it a little bit of a break. It is a grid. It is a very generic grid, but it works a little bit different. It's a little bit different. I have been starting to put down the bike lanes, so I think we're good with that. And remember that we have this amazing, great tram line, which intersects here with the tram line for the north, because I don't want to create a very long line. That could be later for the subway, but right now I don't think it's necessary, and I think it's a little bit too much for that. So we have this line, it's working really well, and we have the other line, which I also think it's working really well. We have our agriculture side, which is also doing really well, as well as our forestry. And as if you remember a little bit earlier, we were looking at being a level 4, which I think is great. We just need a little bit more workers, and we should be doing even better. But I think overall, at least right now, it's great. Maybe let's see what we can add. And remember, this is not only gonna make us increase our level, which should be going up little by little, but also it's gonna increase our profit. Because right now I think some of the money is going into creating paper and timber, similar with what's going on here. But overall, I think we will have to increase this area because there's no space. We have this other area that we wanted to expand into, but I think first we are gonna continue here to see what else we can do. We have a lot of demand for residential, so that's something that we need to think about. I also think that in the near future we're gonna have to do an exit here. So maybe that's what we should be focusing on right now, to create a and that way the road that intersects is gonna end up here. Let's see what we can do. As always, I do like to do the exits for these roads as avenues. That way we future-proof them. That way it's not too close to this area, because we also need to do the road to exit or enter the expressway, depending what we're gonna do. As always, I'm gonna do my overpass and the roads that feed into the overpass. It's a little bit easier on this side because we have a normal avenue, but I don't think we should have an issue. Like I mentioned in the other episodes, it's a little bit difficult to do a very accurate representation for at least American or Texan highways, since Cities Skylines the proportions of everything is not that accurate. That's why I don't do, if you live in Texas at least, I don't do any, or I try not to do frontage roads. You know, they're good, they're helpful, but at the same time, with the base game also it's not that great of help. So now we have that. Let's see if they start using that, and let's expand this avenue, because this is where I'm gonna continue this little grid. And so let's start by doing what we have to do. First thing that I'm gonna trace is this road here. And that's one of the issues of doing something like this, is the fact that you need to have public transportation, otherwise it's gonna get the traffic is not gonna be that good here, because you have intersection and another intersection really good and another intersection really close, and that's gonna create issues. So that's something that you need to look into. Otherwise, like I'm saying, you know, this works great if you want to do quote unquote medium density buildings. And so maybe you end up with something like this. We can create maybe a little park here, and maybe that can work really well. That should be fine. Let's upgrade the roads. And like I've mentioned, I try to start with gravel roads because they're that easier to deal with. You can do a whole lot more. You might have issues once you start upgrading. If you have some curves and you have different buildings, you know, you might not be able to upgrade it but otherwise I think it works really well. As always, I don't like to have that many lights in the city. So I'm gonna put stop signs here. Same thing with this one. Right now I don't know if I wanna continue this or not, or do something else here, so we're gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna pause it really quick, and I'm gonna continue this district. Just to make sure that we have almost everything that the other similar district had. As always, you don't need to try to make this look perfect. I just like the way that it looks. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to do it, like here, it doesn't really matter. So again, it's up to personal preference. As long as you get to create the district, you should be fine. Make sure that everything has water. And we'll see what else needs water here. And do this. Again, at least for right now. Let's unpause the game. See. This road is already being used. I would think that it would be easier just to take this road and then back, but that might be what's gonna happen next. Because we're gonna have to get this line to work for this side too. That way they can go in here and then take whatever else bus they decide to take. And before we start zoning, we need to put some paths. Okay. So the first one, I think I'm gonna the first one is just gonna be 4. And in here we're gonna leave 2. And let's see. We can put some offices here. I like to leave in here space to have parking, like here. I think it helps a little bit, and it's always good to have extra parking. And then we're gonna do this. We're gonna lay down paths for the middle. If you're gonna make it a little bit different, you can always do this. And I think it works. It works as well. Like, it doesn't really matter. And just for the sake of symmetry, let's do this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And same thing for this. However, I think I'm gonna put a road to tie them all of them together. That way we can use this to put schools or whatever else we might need. But still we need to have our paths. Do this. And again, putting paths in the middle adds a little bit more of detail and diversity in the way things look. Sometimes just a little bit of change, a little bit of putting something different might help for things to look a little bit better. I am gonna put a park here. And I'm gonna fill this up with commercial, commercial, and I'm gonna put this as office. So like in other situations, I don't think I have that here. But whenever I see or whenever I have a highway or a road that divides two different areas, I do like to put an overpass. And that way it's easier for people to get across. And since more than likely we're not going to do anything here, there's not going to be any exit, we're not going to expand the highway, or even if we do, it shouldn't make a big difference. We should be fine. Again, with this game, it's great that it actually has people walking to get to their destination as opposed to just getting a car or using public transportation. Put this just in case somebody wants to take pictures. And let's put this here. And another one here. There you go. And we need to do something similar here, but not right now. Let's try to fill this up. So we're gonna do residential, 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 and a lot of residential. Let's see if we need yes, we need a school and a high school. But since the high schools, we might fit here. They're way too big. So I'm gonna put a community school and an Institute of the Creative Arts because they fit a little bit better. But I'm also gonna put a tennis court as well as a basketball court. I don't like the fact that they don't have tennis courts for the non-European theme maps. I think that's a mistake, but still, we can put this here, and we can put this here. It doesn't have any electricity, so let's fix that really quick. I think I'm gonna do a little curved road here. I think it's gonna work really well. So let me pause this really quick and let's see how this bus line is doing. It's doing pretty well. And I honestly think that maybe it's also gonna have to be a tram now that we have connection to this side. But for right now, let's just we might even be tempted to do a little loop here, but that's for later. The city is growing, the area is growing really nicely. And see, it gives it a little bit of a different look. Like backstreet, like something that maybe in a lot of cities we don't have that, especially if it's smaller cities or cities outside certain states or certain countries. So that's that. And I think we're gonna need more commercial. So I'm gonna go back here and let me just make sure, yeah, that the area is there. Let's see how that works out. So you can see the area is filling up pretty nicely. And now we can go back into this other part of town. It's also built up really nicely. And our third suburb, you want to call it, which needs a lot of upgrades and a lot of improvements. Especially the park, that's already at level 3, which I'm surprised. And it's not gonna go any further right now because of that. Let's see what the problem is here. There's not enough buyers, and let's do empty. And let's open a new one. Can be this one, a smaller one. This one is gonna fit 400,000 units, 600,000, 500, and I think this should be fine. And that should help us move that product outside fast enough. And it's also weird because you have this plant that requires raw products, and yet you have the location of the raw product that says that there is nobody to sell it to. So that's something that hopefully the game can improve in the near updates. Same thing here. But at least this one is making us good money. Let's take a look, like I always say at the beginning, for electricity. We're doing well with electricity. Water, we might have to build a power pump, a water pump, or a water tower. So let's see, let's do that. Looks great that it's raining, but it doesn't let us appreciate everything that's going on in the city. Okay, let's do this for now. There we go. And now we have enough water. The treatment plant, we'll wait on it for a little bit. For garbage, we did build a lot of the recycling centers, and I do think that we should build a couple more. Especially here in this area, I think it's perfect. As always, you need to be aware that it's better to have different areas where you have your trash processing plants, your landfills, your recycling centers. That way, the trucks get into the buildings faster or more often, and you don't have issues later on. That's why having just one location is not, it's not a good idea. But if that's all you have for the moment, that's fine. Again, it depends how your city is growing and how you grow it. So let's do this. 1, 2. And that should be fine for now. And so this one, we're gonna empty it, as well as this one and this one. So I think we still might need 1 or 2 more. Let's see what the yeah, let's do just another one, and that way we don't have to worry about it in a little. For education, we're doing well. We have this college, which I think works fine for now. Public libraries, we do need to build one here, so we need to find a space for that, and maybe in the future one here. Health, I think we're also doing well. We do need a clinic, and I think I'm gonna put it here, as well as this, which is a crematorium. And I think we also need to start thinking about this childcare and elder care. The issue with those is that, at least for the childcare, is not that big, so it fits pretty much anywhere like that, or just put it here like this. The difference with the elder care is that it's a little bit bigger and it's not gonna fit everywhere. So maybe we can put it here, or we can wait on that one. We have one here, and I think we should put another one, but there's no space, so that's the issue. And we can put it here, or we can put it here. I think this is not a bad place to do it. Again, this area is still, it's gonna be our main park once we move the industrial area a little bit. So that's something that I'm wondering if I can move it to another area. Maybe we can do it here. I don't think it would be a bad idea once we get this tile open and we get to build our harbor for freight and for tourists. So that's the, let's make sure that we have a post office here. We do, and I might build one more here. Be fine. Traffic, I think we're doing fine. Again, we're not a big city, and we've been trying to keep everything moving along. This is just the only thing that might give us a little bit of trouble. But I think we're fine for now. One of the things that I wanted to do was a roundabout, and to change things a little bit. But I think that everything is working fine right now. I don't think we need to make any changes. I was thinking maybe putting it here, and then having the roads intersect. But again, that's not an issue right now. This is working again. It's doing well. We're still making good money. Thankfully, we don't have any pollution for the water. Our noise pollution is under control where it matters, which is next to the residential areas. Maybe we can add a tower here. That's gonna be fine. Let's put another one here. And let's see. We might want to put the... We're having an issue. We might want to put this big antenna maybe here or here. That way it covers a lot of the area. We can put it here. And we can destroy it. Oh, well, we can move this one here. And there's enough for the earthquake. I don't think we need another one here yet. And we have only one. There's something going on here. Okay. Let's do this. And we need to start building some of these shelters. We only have one, and we have 22,000 people, so we need to build 2 of them. I'm gonna build one here. And it's gonna be here. And I'm gonna build another one here. And a couple smaller ones here. One. So we should be fine for right now. There you go. And I think we are doing well. We are doing fine. Let's continue looking at this. Crime, I don't think it's an issue at the moment. And this one needs water, of course. And electricity. Let's do this for now. And still will help. So, okay, that should be it. We are still having a lot of demand for residential, so let's continue doing this. Zoning in this part. So in here, I'm just gonna put a couple of these commercial areas there. If it becomes an issue with the noise, we will dezone that and change it. But at least for right now, I think it should be fine. And just a couple of offices here. It's also going to change a little bit the way this looks and give a little bit more of jobs to the people here. Let's see how this line is doing. It's doing pretty good. I don't think we are having any issues. This one is also doing well. The yellow tram line also is doing pretty well. The orange bus line also doing well. We have the population, which is mostly adults and seniors, which is why we need to make sure to have elder care. We are importing mostly mail. I don't know why we're importing agricultural products. We are exporting a lot of agricultural products and forestry. That's our main export. What's the issue here? Oh, it finally happened. So if you have a fishing building and there's pollution, the fishing is not gonna go that well. So we're gonna move that to where we have the other fishing areas. Just here. Let's make sure to connect it. That should be fine. And the same thing is happening here already. I didn't think it was gonna become that big of an issue yet. So what we are gonna do, let's see what else we can put them. Let's see what options we have for water treatment. We already have the eco, which is what we have here. If I'm not mistaken, we do. But we don't have anything else. We have the eco inland, eco advance. We can put one of them here. And we can do a regular one here, that way we can do without some of these ones here. Let's do this. Hopefully it doesn't. It is. So let's put another plant here. Doing fine with garbage, so we can actually put another one. We can do it. Let's do it here. And just because I think we're gonna need another one. Let's do it there. And we should be fine in terms of water treatment. I think this is gonna start dissipating a little bit, and just to help it, I'm gonna put one and two. They're a little bit expensive, and they do have a high upkeep. But let's do another one here. Another one here. But once we start growing our city a little bit more, we're gonna be able to set up some more places where we can put these plants, so there's no issue with sewage and all that stuff. But not right now. See, I think our little commercial area worked really well. Noise-wise, it might give us a little bit of trouble, but I think it should work fine. Land value, it's going pretty well. I think that overall we've been able to provide services and transportation and everything to make sure that all the areas have good value. Road maintenance, we are now able to spend some money on these road maintenance buildings, which help the roads, and that way the cars can travel at a little faster speed. So I'm gonna put one of them, put it here. It's gonna be one. Let me put another one here, and that should be it for right now. There's no destruction. We have good radar coverage for disasters, disaster detection, the tourism that is mostly low wealth, and the attractiveness of the city is 39, which I think is good for right now, especially since we don't have that much stuff that we've placed. We have done good stuff here and here, but remember that we also have the option to do parks, the zoo, the amusement park, and the natural reserve, and we don't have those yet. That's for later. I actually think that this would make a nice addition to any natural reserve park. We don't have the park maintenance building, which is something that we might want to do. And I think I'm gonna put it, here. At least for right now. This also, like the transportation, the road maintenance building, it helps boost the parks. Post offices, I think we're doing pretty good in that area too. And fishing, yeah, we have issues with fishing. But again, we should be able to work on them as time goes by a little bit better. Let's delete this line that we have here. Remember, this Cities Skylines city is without that many mods. The only mods that I have is to take some photos with as a map, and whenever I open all 9 tiles, whenever all the milestones are completed, the map opens up to 25 tiles instead of the 9 that we are given. But that's usually once I complete the city. One of the things that I also like to do, which sometimes is referred by Bifa from YouTube, is for the lanes mathematics, which basically means that since right now we're not using any mods and we won't use any mods in this city, for traffic, changing the number of lanes helps with the lanes and how they act. Like this one, it's gonna be specifically just to turn to the right. Same thing on the other side. So it helps traffic a little bit, especially because traffic tends to not be as smart as you might think. So that's something to think about for whenever you work on your city. And before we leave, before we finish this stream, I do want to start or build the park that we were talking about. So I'm going to build it here. With this zone. Let's first of all, let's hold it. Is there a this really quick? And let's put it here, just right now. And one of the reasons again that I sometimes it's a little bit messy with putting curved roads and all that is like this. There's a little space, so it's not gonna be nice. So I'm gonna redo this. So now again, it's connected. And as always, we need to make sure that we deactivate the lights and stop signs. So let me put an entrance here and another one. We can put it here. I am gonna add a fence. It's looking good. Now I'm gonna do this up until here. 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 And we're gonna put a little well, it's not a little loop, but it's a nice loop. So we're gonna have this here. We're gonna have this here. Let's put this here. The Park Cafe, we can put it here. This and this. And I'm gonna put some colored trees here. Sometimes it's really nice to detail these parks. It's nice, I do like it. One of the things that we need to do is to not charge for it. And I'm more than sure people will start coming once we also zone all of these. Let's put a little bit more of trees here. Sometimes you have to look into what works well. Uh, I think with the new content creator pack, we're gonna get some more trees. The ones that we have are great. The thing is that they go from small, like this, to medium, like this, or this, to big, like this. So sometimes it's just not easy to put a nice or cover something. In here, I just wanted to do something different, and I think that the nice contrast from the dark trees to the light green trees looks really well. Same thing like this here. And remember that you can add more stuff. For example, I do like to add, um, let's do 1 and 2. Let's put this here. I do like to add some of these chess tables. Unfortunately, again, the game is not gonna make good use of them because there's not gonna be anybody playing on them. But it adds to the park, and it adds to just plopping down whatever the game gives us. Let's see what the issues here. We're fine. People are using these overpasses. They are. And we're doing good money. Let's make sure that we don't have any loans outstanding. We don't. Budget, we're doing well. And I think that's it for today. So before we leave, this is what I was talking about in terms of noise. This is already complaining about noise. So one of the things that helps is putting some trees. So we'll see, maybe that will help. And if you see here, that's the reason why I left this open, so we can build plop down more trees. And as you can see, it helped already. The downside of this is that if you put a lot of trees, then it's gonna start burning. So it's a bit of a hassle, but it works really well. Let's make sure that how we're doing with this line. It's doing really good. Again, I think we're gonna have to create another tram line, and but that might be for the next episode. Although if we continue this here, we might want to continue it here and then go over. So we'll see. Again, thank you for watching this video, for watching this stream, for your comments, subscriptions, and likes. As always, if you have any questions, concerns, make sure to let me know. And we'll see you next time